We're going to take a 2011 Cadillac Escalade ESV and convert it from the electronic ride control over to Arnott Air Suspension Products suspension kit. Now specifically, this is their C3185 suspension kit, and it's going to convert the rear air shocks over to coil springs and Eibach shocks, and it's going to convert the front electronic ride control struts over to Eibach struts. Now this has all been engineered by Arnott, but also built by Eibach, so you get really good products. Also, coil springs made in the USA, struts engineered in the USA and assembled in the USA, so you get USA made products. We're going to figure out how well this works. We know that our 2011 Escalade has really got some wear on it, starting to get a lot of noise in the front end, a lot of squeaks and a lot of shudders, and even the magnetic ride control is sucked way down in the front. You can see in the picture here where the suspension is set all the way down, and it's riding really rough. So we're going to really see how well this suspension kit changes the ride and the ride height of the Escalade. So we'll actually take some measurements and figure out how well that does. Now, a lot of times what I like to do is do a very specific install procedure, install guideline. But you know what? Arnott has done an excellent job with their install guide here. I'm telling you, it's color pages. They actually came with the kit. You can also get this in a PDF. And really and truly, as detailed as this is, it would be crazy for me to reinvent this. They even have videos on it. So this is going to be less of a how-to. We'll definitely get into some of the key details of installing this, but this is going to be more on the performance side of things, as well as how things look, how things feel. So let's get into it and see how well the Arnott Air Suspension Products works. So we installed the Arnott Industries suspension kit in our 2011 Escalade ESV, and I couldn't be happier with the performance. Rides very well, corners very well, and you still get that luxurious ride that you should in a luxury SUV. So very happy with that. I will mention that it does have a little bit of rake to it. In other words, the front sits a little bit lower than the back. However, it is starting to settle. Initially, I had about 7-inch gap in the rear from the top of the tire to the wheel well, and in the front I had about 5 inches. Now that has settled in the rear, so I've lost more than a ½ inch. In other words, a little bit less than 1.5 inches difference in the back than in the front. I talked to Arnott about that. They said it may settle a little more. Again, I'm not unhappy with it, but I do want you to realize that, because in the existing or in the old setup, basically you've got a set of air shocks back here where it can actually level it out with a compressor depending on the weight back there. But with the new setup, you've got pretty much a standard system where you've got a spring back there and it's going to apply that pressure. It's not going to differ. Again, I'm very happy with it. When you look at the old springs versus the new springs, those new springs from Arnott, made in the USA, are about 1/10 of an inch or a little bit more bigger in diameter than these springs here that came out of it, because again, you had air shocks here to take up the difference in what this wasn't handling. Now you can see here that our system was in dire need of changing. To say that it needed replacing is an understatement. Now, as I mentioned, their instruction booklet is top notch. Color pages, you can get the PDF as well. Pretty much covers everything. I did want to talk about a couple of topics that I could see could maybe use a little more detail, or just in my experience. First, the electronic controls, or the electric wires that are plugging into the top of these shocks, or the top of the struts, if you will, that connect to this piece right here, as well as the air ride and the electric plugs here in the rear shocks as well. Doesn't really talk about what to do with those. Just zip tie those out of the way. You will not need those at all. So you may want to keep them in case you want to replace back to stock, if you want to pay that money. But anyway, just zip tie those out of the way so they're secure and you don't have to worry about them. Second is the top shock bolt is a little bit of a pain to get to. You can get the impact on the outside nut, but getting to that bolt head on the backside is a little difficult, but you can do it. I took a socket and a ratchet and was able to fish it up in there and actually hold it while I ran the nut out, and then when I put the new one on. So again, just kind of a pain, but not a big deal. And the seats for the struts, so the spring seats on the struts, they don't come with them on the new struts, but it's very easy to take off. But the thing is, what looks like And you'll even read, if you Google it, you'll actually find some warnings of, hey, don't take this off, it's pressurized, it's gonna explode and kill everybody within a 100-mile range, but that's not the case. This is just a cap here. It looks like this may screw off, or maybe you need some kind of special tool or anything. Just take a hammer and you can tap this off, it slides right off. Then you can take that spring seat off. Very easy to do. So again, the instructions really didn't talk about removing this cap here, this hat, but very easy to do. Wanted to point that out. And then lastly is installing their bypass module. Now that's one of the keys of this conversion kit is once you remove these wires, all of a sudden now you get your information center, your DIC, your driver's information center starts coding and talks about the suspension system, and it will lock you to 80 miles per hour. The vehicle will not go any faster than 80 when you get that warning. Now, so the bypass module from Arnott, something patented for them, they actually, to install that, it removes that code, so you don't have that code anymore, resumes that speed. Now whatever speed you want to run over 80, hey, feel free to do so. But anyway, installing that, they say to take down the lower panel below the steering column, which I did that, but then it says also to remove the AC ductwork, to pull that down. I didn't need to do that. I just removed the screw out of the OBD2 port and was able to fish it over that AC duct. So again, their instructions say remove that AC ductwork to get to it. I didn't have to do that. I just fished it over the top, was able to get enough slack in the wires where I could install that bypass module, fished it back over the AC ductwork, put it back in place, put the lower panel in, and I was good to go. So just wanted to mention those couple of things. Very happy with the performance of this. Very happy with the value that you get out of this. So if you looked at returning back to stock with an auto ride setup like the Z55 auto ride that's in the ESV, you're looking at least 430 bucks a corner if you search the internet and scoured it and find the cheapest one. So to replace the 2 rear shocks, to replace the 2 front struts without any springs, you're gonna be about 430 bucks a corner. So you're looking at over 1,700 bucks. Really and truly, you're probably gonna be anywhere somewhere around a $2,000 range. If you're going to the dealership, it's gonna be way north of that. So the difference from $2,000, $730, that's more than 50%. So you're getting better than half off, if you will, going to this setup. Again, performance-wise, didn't notice anything. You may, again, with the auto ride, be able to have that more level appearance. But I'm happy with the savings and with the quality that I'm getting in the Eibach system and with Arnott Industries. So make sure to check them out at arnottindustries.com. Also, smash that subscribe and like button if you like this video. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Have a great day.